Well, hello and welcome once more to the Sportski Centar Čair in the Serbian southern city of Niš on day one of the 2012 Women's European Championship. My name's Paul Bray. Thanks for joining us for this Group B match between Sweden and Denmark. The Scandinavian neighbours prepared to take each other on after France earlier today had beaten Macedonia 29-16. There is confirmation to go top of the group for the time being. Well, it's just 9 days since Denmark and Sweden last met in the Möbelringer Cup in Bergen in Norway. The Danes winning 31-25. It's hard to know how much you can read into a match when neither coach was probably too keen to show their hand at that point. But Sweden will be mindful that they also lost to Denmark on the opening day of the London Olympics as well, although that was the high point for Denmark, who then crashed out in the group stages. Here's confirmation that with just one match played, France atop. That, of course, could change, but I suspect not. I can imagine this game will be considerably closer as the referees are introduced, Diana Florescu and Ana Maria Duta, who are in fact from Romania, not from Russia. Well, the Danes have gone through many changes since the Olympic Games, with Coach Putlik bringing in some exciting young players and recording wins in friendly matches against the likes of Norway, France, Russia and Sweden, losing only to a second match against France. And with 8 of their players, though, in the Danish league, Sweden will know what to expect here today. And furthermore, with powerful left-back Torstensson, who played very little in the Möbelringer Cup back, this could be a telling factor. Sweden, though, also exited the London Olympics in the group stages, but they have since changed their coach, appointing Torbjörn Klingvall to replace Per Johansson. But he's only had a couple of months at the helm. Let's see what he can do now. But first, the national anthems.
National anthem of Sweden.
So that was Sweden, and now the anthem of Denmark.
And now, national anthem of Denmark.
Well, plenty of passion as the two Scandinavian anthems are played. These teams which are going through major changes, and this is the lineup for Sweden. Torstensson then is back after being given the gentle ride through the Möbelringer warm-up, but doubts remain over the fitness of playmaker Jakobsen. She's on the list, but she has been unwell with a fever the past couple of days. But undoubtedly, back pair Gulden will be key for Sweden, as will goalkeeper Grubström. Well, facing them a Danish team who also make substantial changes from their Olympic squad that had a miserable time in London. Each team has just 6 players remaining from their Olympic squads as they rebuild with some youngsters and also bringing in some other experienced players. Well, Denmark, after their ill-fated London encounter, retained left winger Norgård and right back Lina Jørgensen, but winger Augustinsson, who missed the Olympics through injury, is back, but it's new players who might steal the limelight, including goalkeeper Cecilie Greve and playmaker Griegel, who have been very impressive for Denmark, and we'll have to wait and see how that pans out in what should be a considerably closer game than the rather one-sided affair we just saw between France and Macedonia. There's Jan Pytlik, coach of the Danish team since 1999. He has taken them to Olympic gold and also to 4th place at the World Championships in Brazil last year, heartbreakingly beaten in that bronze medal playoff at the end, and they were also 4th on home soil in the European Championships 2 years ago. There's Torbjørn Klingvall, only 2 months in the job as head coach of the Swedish team after replacing Per Johansson following the London disappointments. He is supported though by Thomas Sivertsen, a hugely experienced Swedish international player. But Denmark, truthfully, I mean, really are rejuvenated after they've brought in some of the young players. They've had some excellent preparation with wins against Norway, France, Russia, Sweden, and they're really buoyed here. So here we go then, second match on day one in Group B, and Denmark in the red shirts and white shorts throw off, playing from left to right. Sweden in their traditional yellow shirts and the blue shorts open up with a 6-0 defence. Waiting back for the Danes. Nice quick play early on here for Denmark. Lina Jørgensen is at right back. Stina Jørgensen, second top scorer in the Danish league, playing in the centre, but the first shot somewhat wayward from Lotte Griegel, the 21-year-old from Esbjerg, who's a newcomer to the team. So this is the first major competition for Klingvall, the new Swedish coach. Sweden, who under his leadership lost all 3 matches in the Möbelringer Cup just 10 days ago in Bergen. Of course, a tournament where Denmark beat Sweden 31-25. Greve playing particularly well, Jørgensen as well. All the way through, straight down the middle. Comfortable save for Sandra Toft in the Danish goal. Karin Mortensen, the Danish captain and long-standing goalkeeper, announced her international retirement after the London Olympics. And Sandra Toft, who missed the Olympics through injury to her knee, is now back and playing in goal here today. And Cecilie Greve, newcomer to the team, 20 years of age, has 3 caps, is on the bench. Comfortable save. Well, the first 2 shots straight down the middle, and easy pick-up for Toft. Back come Denmark. Phase 2 attack, but it's quickly shut down as the Swedes get back in position, and then the Danish line player barges into a defender and gives the ball away cheaply. The mistake by Susanne Thorsgaard, and Sweden able to rebuild. They really ran out of steam in the London Olympics, Sweden. They never quite could refine the form that took them to a silver medal in the European Championships 2 years ago. Early exchanges rather wayward, especially for Denmark at the moment. That's more like it, and what a shot by Lina Jørgensen. And Denmark take the lead, courtesy of the 22-year-old, plays for Midtjylland, one of the 6 remaining London Olympians. And Denmark have now pushed into a 4-2 defence. Clearly trying to keep an eye, amongst others, on Angelica Valen. Off the post, unlucky for them. The ball is loose. Oh, superbly taken. And loitering at the back was Linnea Torstensen, the player who had an easy run through the Möbelringer Cup, and maybe that was why the coach wanted to rest her, not to give away too much. And the pass is intercepted. And the ball just wouldn't come up for Helleberg. Has now, though, and that's going to be a penalty. Arm tapped as she went through, and it's a yellow card, I think, for Lina Jørgensen. But the goalkeeper has taken a blow to the face. Valen pushed as she went to shoot. She really couldn't control much of the shot, and there it is, the glancing blow off the head of Sandra Toft. Well, you certainly need guts to play in goal in handball. You have to throw yourself into the path, and she will continue doing that, and the worst thing for her is that once she's better and gets up on her feet, she's going to have to face a penalty. 1-1 then it is. The clock's been stopped. 3 minutes and 12 seconds. There's Line Jørgensen, who's picked up yellow card for Denmark. Well, it certainly is a case that Macedonia are the underdogs in this group, with 3 teams going through to the main round. So Gulden scores. Bit of a rebound, and the ball goes out at the back, and that's going to be, I thought of for Danish defender, it's going to be a throw in from the corner for Sweden, for the Danes rather, who keep possession, as the ball came off a defender. Tries to go through, hesitated, and then the gap opens up, the defence too static. And real team spirit on the bench, everyone's up on their feet to celebrate the goal. And it comes courtesy of Stina Jørgensen this time. 2-2 then. Well, these two teams not only played in the Möbelringe back in November, they met in the Olympic Games when Denmark won 21-18. The last win for Sweden goes back to the Scandinavian Cup, a friendly just before the Olympics, when Sweden won 28-19, and I think it was fair to say Denmark were hiding their hand quite a bit in that game, and I think we've got another yellow card coming up as Gulden is fouled, and I think it's Torsgaard who's now picked up the second yellow card for Denmark in this Scandinavian encounter. Into the wing, bit of space, over the top of the keeper, nicely done. Sweden edge back in front again. And that's Fuglström, 22-year-old, who was at the Olympics as well. And another free throw. Well, Denmark qualified for Euro 2012 in Group 6. There were groups of 4 where the top 2 went through to the European Championships. And they were runners-up in the group behind Croatia, but it was enough for them to go through as Bila levels it for Denmark. And once more Denmark go to this very deep 4-2 defence. Line players got space at the back, but the wingers may need to come in. Instead, it's the back players who are going to go in and try and flatten the defence. Doesn't quite work. Toft gets a hand to it, puts it onto the post, but meanwhile a free throw's been given. And there's why there's a push from both sides. Was that an attacking foul? It's been given as another free throw, and the third yellow card for Stina Jørgensen now. And that's all the yellow cards Denmark are allowed from now on. Further infringements will automatically have to be 2-minute suspensions for the Danes. Oh, they've laid out their cards, that's for sure, with this 4-2 defence, very aggressive, but it does mean leaving the few gaps at the back which Sweden are exploiting. Flonman, veteran 31-year-old who plays for Toulon in France. Into the wing, there's a bit of space. The ball just wouldn't release itself fast enough though. Dribbles out to the wing, and in the end Denmark slow the pace down. Well, Sweden for their part won Group 5 in their Euro qualifiers ahead of the Czech Republic, Austria and Slovenia, the teams who missed out. And it's once more Griegel into the fray, and it's tit-for-tat goals here at the moment, each side edging the other one, and Griegel's first goals in a major competition. 21-year-old, he's played 19 times for Denmark, but all in friendlies. Or qualifiers, finally gets a chance in a major competition. And there's the foul that's resulted in a free throw for Sweden. They've taken it and it didn't quite work out, and the long pass comfortably intercepted by Fuglström, the winger, and back come the Swedes. Torstensson, and it's an attacking foul as she runs into the defender. And this is being played very fast. Encourages lots of mistakes if you want them as well. And it's going to be a free throw. They couldn't let play flow, the Romanian referees. Well, with both these teams likely to go through to the main round, of course, this would be a result that would be carried forward to the next round, and therefore it's all important to get it right as Denmark edge ahead. Tor score. Well, every single goals for everybody at the moment, and another unforced error by the Swedes, and a quick break. Oh, well done, Grubström, the goalkeeper, just got her foot to it. Anna-Grete Nørgaard, one of the most experienced Danish players, misses a chance, and instead they pay the price at the other end as Sweden respond immediately with a goal courtesy of Angelica Wahlen, 26-year-old who plays for Esbjerg in Denmark. No less than 8 of the Swedish players play in the Danish league, which is arguably the best women's league in the world. And so they do know each other quite well as Denmark once more take the lead. Little crossover, line players holding the others back, and Stina Jørgensen gets her second. Very, very deep defence, pushing up almost with the number 2 from the left as well now. It's a 3-3 effectively. Well, Klingvall, so far so good on his debut, coaching at a major event. Torstensson, certainly a big array of talented players in the Swedish side, but they just couldn't all work together, unfortunately, in the Olympics. And a quick pass trying to avoid Torstensson's attention, but the bounce pass goes wide in the end. It was probably the right idea, just too far back for Bila to reach. And so Sweden come back with the ball. 10 minutes played then in the first half. 6-5 to Denmark. 4 turnovers apiece so far in the game. This is going to be interesting to see how other teams react to this defence. They've stolen the ball. They've got so many players up front. It's dangerous to move the ball around at all. And no mistake this time. Lotte Griegel gets her second. And she really has been so impressive. And Gulden raced back to try and cover her, but just couldn't get there. And Denmark take a 7-5 lead. Defending inside the area. Well, Gulden saw the gap. She's so dangerous, the 23-year-old who plays for Viborg. Charged through. And in the end, wins the penalty. And Gulden will take the penalty herself. It's saved. Rushed it. Toft saves. The rebound picked up by the Danish defenders. Fuglström just happy to foul and maybe slow down the movement of the ball up court so her teammates could get organised in defence. So Denmark now have Louise Bugård at right back. Oh, long pass, too long. A few wasted opportunities for Grubström there, the Viborg goalkeeper. She together with Gulden and Johanna Alm for Sweden all play for Viborg, as do their opponents today, Louise Lyksborg, Pernilla Larsen. So quite a few teammates on opposite sides of the court here today. And Christina Christensen has come into the centre for the attack, the 23-year-old, who's been very impressive. And again, Denmark score. Crossovers at the front. And Jørgensen Stina Jørgensen's third goal from 4 attempts, and a team timeout called by Klingvall already. Clearly not wanting his team to lose track as they now trail by 3 goals. They'd started so well. They were edging ahead. It got to 5-5, and then 3 quick goals without reply for Sweden, who are running out of ideas in attack as much as anything else. And the Danes are hitting them on phase 2 attacks. And there is Klingvall, the new coach, and at the back there, the tall figure of Thomas Sivertsson, former Swedish international from the golden era of Swedish handball, Olympic silver medalist. In his time. So Sweden have to just not panic too much now. They've got time. 3 goals, of course, is a good lead for Denmark to have built up, but the main thing is not to think you've got to correct it all in 5 minutes. As ever, Jan Pytlik calm, but he doesn't always stay calm. You might see a different side to him when things are getting tight and he feels his players aren't responding. And once more Denmark resume with his deep defence. This 4-2 defence, 2 players at the front really trying to disrupt the Swedish build-up. Jamila Roberts has come into the fray for Sweden. She runs in on the line to take the defender with her and then tries to move out again. And it's worked. They've managed to go around the outside, and that is the danger when you play deep. You do open up space on the wings, and Helleberg takes full advantage. 26-year-old who plays for Esbjerg in Denmark. He was a reserve for the Olympic Games in the Swedish team, but didn't make it in the end. Wasn't required. Oh, unlucky off the post. She gets a second chance. Grubström all on her own. No one came out. And Louise Burgaard. And a 3-goal lead is there again. Burgaard. First goal for her. And the Swedes can't get any rhythm going at the back at the moment with the attention of this defence, which is now switched to 3-3. Roberts tries to go through, dispossessed. Unfairly, say the Romanian referees. It's a free throw. And look how far back the Swedes are having to play, almost back to the halfway line for Gulden. Gulden tries to drive all the way and looks to the line. There's space. Puts it wide, but she'll get the free throw, Flonman. There is Jamina Roberts, a 22-year-old who plays for Sävehof, the Swedish champions. Tries in the end a long-range shot, almost out of frustration with passive play being worn. But now back come Denmark, phase 2. Sweden are now settled, but still Denmark don't slow the tempo. All the way through. Good save by Grubström. Chance for her now. Sweden look for the options on phase 2 here. Roberts wanted the ball quicker. The wing could have got the ball. Instead they've gone the wrong way, and now they have to settle down again. And the Danes will push up in defence. And midway through the first half, Denmark, after a tentative start to 5-5, have now gone into a 9-6 lead. That was nice play though. Klingvall on his feet. And I think that may well have been Flonman getting a second goal. And Denmark open up the 3-goal lead again. They are finding gaps in the defence. Torsgaard moves on to it and gets her second. Thick and fast now. Tempo is ramping up. They've only got 1 at the front. They keep on changing their defence, the Danes. Sometimes it's 5-1, then it's a 4-2, occasionally 3-3. And this constant switching around. It's a new evolution really in the game. And the Swedes are having to stay on their toes the whole time. Too many steps in the end. They've given possession away. Throw for Denmark. Try and bring the ball up quickly before the Swedes can settle in defence. Back again. Not a great pass. Into the wing. Yes, there's a bit of space there. Wide. Well wide. Well, Pytlik still looking relatively calm. The Danish coach has been in charge for a long time, 1999. Took over from Ulrik Wilbek, straight into Sandra Toft. They're rushing their shots when they do get opportunities. And that'll be a free throw. The ball cut out by Helleberg, but the initial foul by Torstensson means that there is a free throw. And back into the play for Sweden comes Sabina Jakobsen. Being used in defence at the moment, the number 27, who's been ill for the last couple of days, we understand, with a fever. There was some doubt whether she would play today. That managed to just keep that off her legs. Anything below knee height is football in handball, and you get a free throw. Grubström. Torstensson looking for options as she goes down the court. Yes. Oh, unlucky. Sabina Jakobsen hits the post. It's been played at a cracking pace. Stolen, but it came off the foot of the Swedish defender anyway. Play on, say the referees, as Pytlik looks to put on Marianne Bonde, who was already getting a tracksuit top off, ready to go on earlier. And there's the shot efficiency, 56% Denmark, 50% for Sweden. What a different Denmark we're seeing after that rather lackluster performance at the London Olympics, when nothing would go right for them. But a bag full of changes, 10 new players. Well, some are new and some are kind of coming back from earlier, or players who missed through injury the Olympic Games, but it's just got the right mix of players now. That's a cracking goal. The defence just opened up long enough, and the moment that Burgård saw the gap, the shot was away, and that's the second goal of the game. 11-7. Lead opens up still further, and the Swedes just can't quite find their solutions. Their goals are just coming too sparsely. Jamila Roberts goes in and comes back out again. It flattens the defence slightly, but still they're defending a long way out. They effectively leave one player on the centre. The other one, although it looks like a loose 4-2, are in fact marking pretty much the centre and one of the back players alternately. And Roberts is the one who's being shadowed right now, together with Joanna Alm, who's now come into the frame to try and get the attack kick-started again. Needed a slightly better pass than that. She was inside the area anyway. Bieler, not a great pass to her. And the Swedish fans, I'm afraid, looking a little bit despondent here. He stepped well inside the area. Well, this is an important match, as I said earlier, because these two teams should be making it through to the next round, and it means that this result will be carried into the next round. And Roberts is being individually marked. They switch quickly as she tries to do a screening move, and they can't. She gets the shot away. And Roberts puts it in the top corner as Pytlik calls for a team timeout. Well, at the moment, certainly the defence is working well for Denmark. It's an unusual defence to switch between these 4-2s, 5-1s, and they're individually picking up players. It's not a floating defence. They are effectively going on Joanna Alm or on Torstensson when she was out there, and then also on the back player, at the moment Jamina Roberts. And it really disrupts the back play for them at the moment. And then they hit very hard on the break, but then Denmark have always done that. They love the fast break and phase 2 attacks, and Sweden know that, so they are falling back very quickly in defence to try and stifle those opportunities for the Danes. But nevertheless, despite that last shot by Roberts, they are still struggling to stamp their authority on this game. It's the Danes, in fact, who are doing all the running. And Klingvall knows that he's got a job on his hand here. And next opponents for Denmark will be France, while Sweden will take on Macedonia. Those two matches on Thursday here in Niš, down in the south of Serbia, the southernmost location of the 4, where these groups are playing. 4 groups of 4. The top 3 in each group will go through to the main round, with they merge into 2 groups of 6 for the main round. Long range shot, nice and hard, but well parried away by Grubström. Direction slightly lacking on that shot by Jönsson. There's the handoff. Great play though between the line player and the winger, putting the block on, but just too near the keeper. 20 minutes played then in the first half. Denmark leading Sweden 11-8. man for Alm. Joanna Alm, who plays for Viborg. And there's Louise Luxembourg. Something of a defence specialist. Not a great shot, straight down the middle. Beautifully taken. Caught on the fly and shot before she landed back inside the area. That was a stunning goal by Sweden's Lene Blom. Playing in her first major competition. She's just 20 years of age and had only played one international before coming here to Serbia. One of the new breed of the Swedish team players. Oh, gap opens up and Lena Jönsson puts it way wide. Big miss by the 22-year-old for Midtjylland. Jamila Roberts, space is there, penalty. She got ahead of the defenders and was pulled from the back. And Denmark already on yellow cards all round with 3. They have a 2-minute suspension. And Christina Christiansen, I think, the number 21 there for that push in the back, has been sent off for 2 minutes. Now Roberts finding solutions. Alm scores, and it's a run of 3 goals for Sweden. And they are back within 1. There's the player who's just been sent off, Christiansen, the 23-year-old from Team Twist, Holstebro. And that goal by Joanna Alm, it's not in fact Blom, makes it 3 on the trot. And not only that, but Sweden now have a power play for the next minute and a half. Free throw. Well, ironically, the timeout called by Jan Putlik to try and settle his player seems to have done the power of good to the Swedes. They come out with 3 unanswered goals. That's more like it, though. Lena Jönsson hits back. Second goal of the game for her. Lena Jönsson, who's up and down game so far. Looking to the line. Beautifully played. Was she fouled in the act of shooting? No, say the referees. Ulrika Ågren's arm looked very close to being touched. There was a lovely pass into her by Torstensson. Torstensson again into the wing this time. With the extra player, they've got the space. They've managed to overlap the defence and it's all square. Is it? No, it's not. I beg your pardon. Still 1 goal in it. There's a celebration for Helleberg, though. Her second goal. So 1 goal in it still, and power play only lasting another 16 seconds or so. Denmark will try and, that won't count, the whistle's already gone. They'll try and run the clock down, Denmark, get a few free throws and wait till they're back to full strength to make the next attack count. And Denmark are now back to full strength again, and Christina Christiansen resumes on court, the 23-year-old. And that came off a defender, touch coming from Gulden. Nothing, say the referees, and back comes Sweden. And suddenly, the Swedes have found the solutions, and the Danes go back to a 6-0 defence, it would appear, for the moment. They put Pernilla Larsen now into the fray. She's a strong defender, number 15, as they opt for 6-0. And, well, smiles all round on the Swedish bench, looking a bit more relaxed than they were 10 minutes ago. Torstensson, she's got too much space now, but she puts the shot well wide. She's taken a blow to the stomach in the process in defence. And medical staff being called on immediately. And she is it her stomach or is she holding her hand, I wonder? We might see better from this side here. She goes to shoot and no, it's in the stomach. She's completely winded. You'll see it well from this angle here. There you go. Not only that, but she then fell flat on her back. But she's tough, Torstensson. She's up and back again. Plays for Krim Ljubljana in Slovenia. One of their most experienced players. 124 internationals, 517 goals for Sweden. Played at 2 World Championships, 2 Olympics and 3 European Championships. Kind of experience you can't buy, really. Attacking foul by Lena Jönsson, and Sweden back on the attack again. Well, was it? I guess Torstensen seemed to run across and push the defender in. 8 turnovers now suffered by Sweden. Denmark 6. So from 11-7 up, Denmark are now only leading 12-11. Of course, the danger with the 4-2 defence or even the 5-1-3-3s they were playing is that they are tiring, and you can only maintain them really for so long unless you really want to turn the bench a lot. 5 minutes remaining then in the first half. Fantastic pass, as direct as it gets. And good play by Denmark's Bonde, who got up court really quickly, got in position and waited for the cannon pass down the middle. And that'll help settle nerves a bit. Maria Bonde Pedersen, the 28-year-old who plays for Frederiksberg. Played in the Olympics, but as a late replacement for the injured Louise Spelleberg. Torstensen, Gulden looks for the line. The chance wasn't there. Instead, she runs straight into the defender, and it's an attacker's foul. And Toft will. I thought she was going to be asked to come back and take the pass again from the right place, but they played on, and Denmark had benefited. 4 minutes remaining. Putlik is delighted after Sweden had nearly completely closed the gap back. Pernille Larsen's goal restores a good lead for the Danes at 14-11. The Danes pushing up again slightly now on the far side. Christiansen is pushing on Jamina Roberts, who's a real running player on her attacks. That'll be another free throw as Torstensen is fouled. And Christina Christiansen has certainly been in the thick of it, the 23-year-old from Holstebro. Well, you have to go back to only July for the last Swedish win against Denmark. As I said, it was a pre-Olympic one, and Denmark kept their cards close to their chest. Otherwise, in major competitions, it was World Championships 2009 that Sweden won 27-23. Well, that was an absolute cannonball of a shot. Christiansen, let's rip. Ball intercepted nearly. The ball's loose now, but this time it's taken unfairly from Torstensen. Her hand slap. Jamila Roberts with one of those darting runs. Torstensen. Gulden gone wide again. Torstensen's got a bit of space, and again, second time she's hit the crossbar right in the corner. Saved by Grubström, and back comes Sweden. Maybe didn't quite need to rush it quite as much. Gulden, Torstensen. They'll settle again as Lin Blom goes in on the line, the newcomer to the Swedish team, who's having a good run out here on court in amongst the Danish defence. And every time Roberts runs in, she flattens the defence completely and then moves out again to try and exploit the space, but the Danes holding for now. Here she goes again, drives in, allows the winger to come out and put a clean pass in, but the ball's dropped by Gulden onto her feet, and the break is on. Christiansen, saved by Grubström. She waited as long as she could. Star jumped literally after the shot was armed and ready to go by Christiansen. And I'm afraid that the Danish playmaker will kick herself for that one. Nearing the end of the first half. And they pay the price meanwhile at the other end as Gulden scores to break a run of 3 goals by Denmark. Second goal for her. 1 minute remaining then in the first half. Denmark have got Torsgaard back in on the line. And there's a little bit of tussling going on with Torsgaard, the line player, and I think Johanna Vesberg, and the referees come out and have a polite word with them both. It's a bit of a let-off for Denmark, already on 3 yellow cards anyway. And a foul on the line. Torsgaard tussling away and then backing into the line. 25 seconds remaining then for Sweden. They can slow it down a little bit. It's longer than you think. Try and make this the last attack. Maybe Roberts to drive in and try and flatten the defence and bring in Gulden or Westerberg, who's now on number 14 at the left back position. Roberts, she's through. Beautifully done. 2 quick goals, only 2 seconds to go. They won't have time. And so there's the half-time buzzer, and Denmark, who've led by up to 4 goals in the first half, thanks to some very, very deep defending, 4-2, 3-3 at times. But Sweden didn't lose their heads. They then hit them with 3 goals without reply, got themselves back into the game, and at half-time, it's Denmark 15, Sweden 13. It's quite close again. This game could so easily have run away from the Swedes with that deep defending. They couldn't get any rhythm going at the back, but in the end Roberts came on and her running play really upset the defence. Here's the statistics then. 54% success rate for Denmark on their shooting against 50% for Sweden. 41 to 45% success rates on the attacks. Not that many fast breaks, but Denmark, look at that, how wasteful. 2 fast breaks scored from 5 attempts. This is where Sweden's goals are coming from. The left and right back not really in the action. It's all down the middle, or 2 each for the wingers. For the Danes, well, 2 fast breaks, but wasteful there as well. Straight down the middle, and otherwise only the right back position. The left side has failed from 5 attempts, so not really working particularly well for them there. And this is how the progression of that first half went. Fairly level early on, and then there was a good spell by the Swedes, but then the Danes reacted, and then they were away before the Swedes reacted again. And so top scoring at the moment, 3 or 4 players for Sweden are on 2 goals, while Jönsson, Stina Jönsson that is, has 3 for Denmark. That's it. We'll have a quick break for half time. Join us again for the second half in just a few moments. So welcome back to the Chair Arena in Niš in southern Serbia. Half-time in this Group B match, this Scandinavian encounter. Denmark are leading Sweden 15-13 at the interval. Sweden have done well to settle down after looking in real trouble against the varying Danish defence. It was going from 4-2 to 3-3, back to 5-1, and were really varying it before they then slid back and have gone now back to a 6-0 defence. Number 2 defenders on each side are pushing up a little bit now. Mind you, they have to. Griegel is trying to get around the front of the line player Flodman. I think both teams know the significance of this game. If we go to form, then they will both go through to the main round with France. That's what we expect, at least, unless, of course, Macedonia can pull off a big surprise. Wow, how unlucky. A little Kempe there, lobbing the ball in the air for the winger to catch and shoot before she landed. But it clipped the post. Griegel comes in, tries to pass quickly into the line, came off the foot of the defender. It's accidental play on, say the referees. And back in comes Torsgaard, not being used in defence at the moment for Denmark. Goes in on the line. And Anna-Grete Norgård has slipped into the left wing. One of the Olympians who's still in the team. Stina Jonsson, and then a blast from distance. That'll help. Norgård gets her third goal of the game. Roberts back again, and as the defence has gone flat, she's struggling to find those spaces that she was finding earlier with a deep defence. She'd accelerate past the front defender and use the space at the back. Oh, lovely pass into the line, defending inside the area. It's a penalty and a 2-minute suspension, much to the consternation of Marianne Bonde Pedersen. There is the foul by number 13. Caught her arm, hooked it. Right in the corner, Johanna Alm. Second goal of the game for her. Well, the goalkeeper read it well, but just couldn't quite get there fast enough to block the shot. So 2-goal lead now for the Danes against the Swedish side, who maintain the 6-0 defence. And for Denmark, Lotte Griegel, the 21-year-old newcomer to the team, who's really impressed as she comes again. Part of the build-up as Jan Putlik looks to regain the form of old. Denmark, of course, 3 times Olympic champions, 96, 2000 and 2004. And European champions as well in 94, 96 and 2002. And add to that a world title in 97. They really are one of the preeminent teams. And where's the winger gone? Well, she's on the line. That's where Torstensson instinctively looked to swing the ball in. But Flodman was on the line, and the other winger had gone in as a second line player. And they were AWOL, and a chance missed while they're on a power play, and that's disappointing for Sweden, who really needed to try and capitalise in these situations. Griegel looks to the line. Oh, brilliant pass. Griegel, sublime pass to the line. From the corner of her eye, she just saw Kristina Bila running around and almost had to pick the ball up before she really wanted to. Didn't have time to grab it, so just pushed it into her. Into the wing, inside the area. Won't count. Steps on the line. Have a look, you'll see it from this angle. Maybe look at her foot. Yes, well inside. Easy decision for the Romanian referees. It's going to be a tough group when it merges, because groups A and B will merge in the main round. The top 3 from each of those will come together, and Group A has Norway, the Ukraine, Serbia and the Czech Republic. Norway, of course, seem to have a stranglehold on the title, European Championship title, and that's going to be a penalty. And a chance to get back to a 4-goal lead. The foul by Sabina Jakobsen. And she will go off. Let's have a look again and see. Well, there's no doubt about the penalty. The defending was inside the area and she'd managed to turn and face goal. If you could stop her turning, it would be different. Nørgaard. Through the legs of the keeper. And a 3-1 exchange early in the second half has seen Denmark open up a 4-goal lead. Matches the biggest lead they had in the first half, and Sweden need to rally as they did in the first half now. Jamila Roberts is very quiet at the moment. Space just not looking there all the time when she's driving in, as the Danes wait back now and instead say, well, you're going to have to work harder to have the space. Looking to the line, but there was some holding going on there. Fuglström pulled up by defender. 5 minutes played then in the second half. 15-13 has become 18-14 to Denmark. Oh, nearly running out of options. Gulden runs in, looks to her right. Jamila Roberts is covered. It was clever play by the Danes. Oh, lovely little back pass, and Gulden rushes the shot, and Toft saves. Quick hand off behind, the ball stolen. Chance now, the wing's gone, but she's closely marked. There's no point passing there. The right is good though. And she's gone wide to pull the defender away and allowed Jakobsen to go through on her own. It's good play by the winger. Fuglström went right in the corner, took the defender with her. 3 goals now the difference in this Scandinavian encounter. Oh, beautifully done. Nice power. Gap opened up and it was almost a standing shot for Stina Jørgensen for her 4th goal. And for the moment, Denmark are managing to maintain that 4-goal gap. Torstensen's back in the frame again now. Winger comes around, Helleberg slots in on the line. I've got to make sure now that Gulden doesn't try and pass to the left wing. Roberts shoots, gets the penalty, finally does find a space through, more than anything else because Griegel slipped and the gap was left behind. Clock has been stopped as Denmark are going to change keeper, and Cecilie Greve, 20 years of age, is going to come in. Here's the foul again. Pushed as she was about to shoot, and the defender also standing inside the area anyway. And so a chance for the young newcomer to the Danish team. And she can't do too much about it. Greve. Johanna Alm scores her 2nd penalty of the half. 3rd goal overall. 3 goals in it now. 7 minutes into the second half. 4 penalties for Sweden so far, just the single one for Denmark. Oh, that was lucky. Well, the player was inside, who'd gone in for the first pass. She wasn't deemed to be interfering. There she is. She runs across, gets out of the way of the goalkeeper. That was lucky. Bjørgaard. And Biele, the very fortunate recipient of the ball behind. Her 3rd goal. Roberts beginning to drive a little bit more now. Ball's gone astray, and Toft, who's back in goal after that penalty, puts it back in. Plays for Team Tvis Holstebro. Denmark settle down again. Louise Bjørgaard returns into the right back position. Stina Jørgensen at left back. As Susanna Torsgaard ambles in to resume her attacking role. Little crossover here. They're trying to pull the defence over and then go the other way. Tries to blast it through the middle. Rather more direct route. That comes to nothing. Oh, brilliantly taken. Quick one-handed grab and shot. And Griegel, what a great find she is. And Denmark do just have that advantage, though, when they want to shuffle the deck with their squad, that they have such strength in depth. Talented players of coming through the younger age group teams, such as Griegel, that they can pull into the squad and settles in so well and so quickly. Jamila Roberts nearly giving the ball away. She tries to turn, and the defender coming out. Burgård gambled, went out quick and left the gap behind. But a blow for Gulden as she drove through. But you see the defender came forward, she takes the blow, sees the gap, takes the shot before finally going down. Seems none the worse, the 23-year-old who's played playing a 100th international for Sweden just before arriving here, scoring 288 goals for her country. She left Severhof to join Danish side Viborg this season, where she's the 4th top scorer in the Danish league with 62 goals. 4 goals in it at the moment. Jørgensen. Oh, that's not a great pass. Straight into the legs of Griegel. And we have a 2-minute suspension for, well, a rather concerned look. Flonman thought for a second that she was being sent off and looked absolutely bemused, but she's the one who's gone off. Lotte Griegel. I think the simple reason is she didn't put the ball down the moment the free throw was given. There it is. The whistle goes now. She picks it up and throws it. And in handball, if you don't put the ball straight down where the whistle goes, I'm afraid you pay the price. It's, I must say, it's a call that some other sports might welcome using as well. Cuts out the arguments and discussions with the referees. There's a bit of a tussle going along at the back there. Flonman trying to run around from a wide position on the line, stumbled into Lina Jørgensen, and both fell to the ground. No harm done, and I think they're just stopping to mop the floor up. So the Swedes trying to overturn 2 consecutive defeats in the last 2 games against the Danes at the Olympic Games and at the Møbelringer Cup in Bergen, Norway, just 9 days ago. Swedes have made a switch now on the left wing with Emma Hawia Svensson coming in, just 21 years of age, 2 caps only. Well, Toft having a good game in goal for the Danish team, and we're past the 10-minute mark now in the second half with Denmark still short-handed, with Griegel serving out a 2-minute suspension. But unfortunately, as with the last time when Denmark was short-handed on Bonde's suspension, Swedes not capitalizing on it. If anything, it's still the Danes who are looking more dangerous. That was an unfortunate pass by the experienced Nørgaard, who should know better than trying to lob the ball over a defender, especially when both of them are effectively standing rooted to the 6-meter line. So Gulden goes back into the left-back position. Alm in the centre, and Torstensson being given a long break. She really struggled in the first half to find any range. Came off the post by Sabina Jakobsen, and hint of a push as she went through, but not given. And Klingvall does suggest it, though, as the referee comes past, but with no success, I'm afraid. And the shot efficiency fairly close between the two teams. Denmark 57%, Sweden 53%. Well, all 4 groups are in action today here at Euro 2012 to get things underway in Serbia. And then from tomorrow they'll then alternate to get a day's break each. Stina Jørgensen goes around. It's her 5th goal of the game, Stina Jørgensen. And I'm afraid at the moment the Swedes are struggling to find the solutions. Here comes Hawia, goes in on the line. Hard shot, but rather dismissively held by Toft. Puts a long ball down. But the long pass, unfortunately, couldn't quite reach its recipient. That's the equivalent of a goalkeeper's insult to a back player when you can hold the shot. And again, Johan Alm tries and puts it straight down the middle again, and it's a comfortable save for Sandra Toft, 23-year-old keeper who's plays a 28th international for Denmark. No way around, and Denmark happy to take the free throws. Jakobsen charges out. Riegel served out a 2-minute suspension. The shot comfortably parried away. Oh, much too long. That didn't find Hawia Svensson. Should say that Sweden have changed keeper. Maria Olsen is in goal, the 25-year-old who plays for Aalborg. Replaced Gabriella Kain, who was in the Olympic squad. Quick break. Well, you give the chances and they'll take them quick. Johanna Alm. Goal number 4 for her. Still, though, Denmark have a 4-goal lead as a team timeout is called by Denmark. Jan Pytlik can stay calm. He's tried everything in the early stages of the game. He tried these deep defences, which really unsettled the Swedes. Then Jamila Roberts started to find solutions for Sweden, driving in and sucking in defenders as she went. And it allowed the likes of Gulden and Helleberg to follow in behind. But I'm afraid that's kind of dried up in the second half. And Denmark have switched back in a way, almost parrying these driving runs that they were doing. Not to say they wouldn't go back to a deep defence if they had to. And the Swedes are really just struggling. They stemmed the tide at least. They went 4 goals down early in the second half. They've managed since then to level peg their way through the rest. Briefly going 5 down at 21-16. But Klingvall has only been in the job 2 months. He's got 6 of his Olympic players. But other than that, well, I'm looking through the list. In fact, Torstensen and Guldena didn't count, so actually make that 8. So effectively half his squad are new to the team or coming back after not going to the Olympics. And so he may have longer term plans, maybe an eye on the World Championships next year. Quick switch back at the moment. It's Lina Jönsson back in the centre. Oh, soft shot there. Back comes Sweden. Jakobsen staying wide at the moment. Jakobsen dummies it, passes it back again. Gulden struggles to hold it, but he eventually gets a free throw. So Roberts back in the attack now at number 8. It's all wide, unfortunately, at the moment for Sweden. They're not driving in. That's the first time they've actually forwarded inside the 9-metre on that one. Free throw for Roberts. Good defending by Denmark. Torsgaard holding tight in the centre of the defence. Working really well together with Norgård. But Sweden hit them finally. Johanna Alm gets her 5th. 4 of them coming in the second half, and another break straight away. Fogelström, oh, she's gone wide. Too many steps, surely, I thought, on the way. That ball's gone over the back line. And it could so easily have been a 2-goal gap. I think even before Fogelström put the shot wide, she'd taken 4 steps. So Denmark try and settle down, and I think the voice shouting was Jan Pytlik, probably telling his players to settle and just make it longer attacks. They still have 14 minutes remaining. The lead is down to 3 now. Oh, brilliant shot. Stina Jönsson, goal number 6. got such a quick arm. Just 22 years of age, 27 caps, 33 goals, but coming good all the time. And the youngster's playing in her first major competition. She's actually the second top scorer in the Danish league. And you can see why when she can launch that kind of strength of shot at the opponent. Oh, nicely done. Alm, Toft got a hand to it but could only deflect it into her own goal, and Alm has scored the last 3 goals now for Sweden. Ooh, that was well read, but Alm just got there too late. But she stopped the crossover. Passive plays being worn now by the referees. Shots taken, but that's going to be a free throw. The foul on Louise Burgård. And Jakobsen defending really hard, the 23-year-old Swede who plays for Randers, the Danish champions. Not showing too much of the ill effects of a couple of days of sickness. As Thomas Sivertsen, the Swedish assistant coach, gets to his feet to have a word with Klingvall. Maybe spotted an opportunity. Only 3 goals in it. It's entirely doable for Sweden if they can just get some rhythm going on their attacks. That's good. Through the legs of the keeper, Jakobsen. Second goal for her, and Toft will be annoyed about that. And Denmark call a team timeout. Not entirely surprised. The score has gone from a 21-16 margin to suddenly being turned on its head, and it's a 5-2 exchange that's seen the Swedes get back to within 2. Still Jan Putlik stays nice and calm. So it sounds as if he may be thinking about switching back to a 4-2 defence. We'll see if that is the case. And deciding that now the last push, they've got to try and unsettle the Swedes again with that deep defence. They've been practicing it really hard to try and bring in a bit of variety with the youngsters coming in as well since the London Games. But Sivertsen at the back there did stand up and seemed to have a thought, and it might have been quite helpful, in fact, that Putlik called the team timeout, because it's maybe had a chance to convey whatever idea he had to his team. So here we go, play resumes then. Christiansen in the centre, number 21. Into the line, nothing given, shot straight down the middle, under a lot of pressure, it has to be said. Back come the Swedes. Good save by Toft, the ball's loose. Hawia's got it, takes the shot, she gets the penalty. The Danes look annoyed at the call. Well, in fact, it's Sand, I beg your pardon. Just 19 years of age, second international, and Toft just tries to stay aloof from everything now and just focus on what she's got to do. Well, she goes down on one shoulder, and Alm, with a little bit of a drop on the wrist, puts the ball just over. Well, Alm's been a single-handed attack with a 7th goal. 6 of them in this half, and they are within 1. Sweden are beginning to believe again after Denmark looked to control the game. Jørgensen's gone down, and she caught her ankle, I think, on Fugelström. And it's not looking good, I have to say. They've got enough injury problems already, the Danes. Here it is again. Just caught, there it is. And he may have just twisted her leg as she tripped on Gulden. receiving treatment very quickly. The Danes, who since the Olympics have seen big names. Karin Mortensen, of course, the goalkeeper and captain, retired, but the likes of Rika Skå, Trine Troelsen, Camilla Dalby, Christina Kroosheder, all at the back, not returning after the Olympics, and Mette Melgaard as well, the line player, not available. But then again, the Swedes will say, well, we've had our own problems as well. Jenny Alm has got a knee injury. And they've also got Islas Helgason, who injured herself at the Olympics. There is a very focused looking Hanna Fuglström, the 22-year-old who plays for the champion Silverhof. Played her first major competition at the Olympics in London. And this could be a big loss for the Danes if Stina Jørgensen, scorer of 6 goals so far in the game, can't continue. She's immediately replaced by Pernille Larsen, 28-year-old from Viborg, who's played 80 times for her country, scored 90 goals. Into the line, just behind the head of the line player. And a chance now for Sweden, if they can capitalise on this attack, to level it and maybe put the pressure back on the Danes. They haven't got time to get their 4-2 going because they're being put under pressure so quickly by the Swedes. The ball's loose, but the Swedes collect it. Johanna Alm throwing herself on the loose ball. And so with 10 minutes remaining, from a 5-goal lead, Denmark are just hanging on now by the single goal against their Scandinavian neighbours. Sand goes in on the line. Looking to the line, can't quite turn, that'll just be a free throw. Lin Blum being prevented from turning, otherwise that's a penalty once you're facing goal and you block them. Good play. Oh, tried to lob the keeper and Toft just got a hand to it. Back come Denmark, trying to up the tempo now. Attacking foul, they say. She got past. She's, well, it's been given. Ball nearly stolen. It's loose again, and once more it's picked up by Johanna Alm. 9 minutes remaining. The tension's growing here in Niš. A match which I think both teams know deep down that, assuming of course they go through, this is a result that's going to be carried into the main round. It might just be the opening game, but already it could have a bearing on place in the semi-final. Well, a couple of the Danes there with heavy braces on their left. Louise Burgaard is one of them, and she's helping, I think it's Mette Greifholt. Yeah, Mette Greifholt, and caught awkwardly on the knee. She's been used almost exclusively in defence. And both of them with heavy braces. Well, second injury now, and they really are struggling to with injuries, but Sweden are level. And who else, of course, but Johanna Alm, goal number 8. They've scored 4 without reply. 23-19 has become 23-all, and the Danes are reeling. Into the line. That's more like it under heavy pressure. Torsgaard finally gets them going again. 24-23. 3 from 3 for the line player. Very, very economical. Less than 8 minutes remaining. Alm. Torstensson just hasn't been on court. Sand goes in on the line once more, trying to flatten the defence and give space for Alm with her shooting, but one of the line players pushing a little too hard for the liking of the referees. Attacking foul. Back come Denmark. Into the line. This time it's well intercepted. The ball's loose. Roberts looks for support. Once more, Jenny Alm is there. Inside the area. What a shame. Fuglström, the winger, steps in. And Toft says to her teammates, slow it down. The attacks are too short, and I'm sure that's what Putlik is saying. And in a game of high intensity and high speed, a lot of turnovers, 15 apiece in the game so far. Oh, given away. Sand just happy to stand there and get past the ball. And it just shows how the players are getting tired with the pace at which this game has been played. Luckily for them, they're not the group that resume play tomorrow. They have a day off before games on Thursday when Sweden will take on Macedonia. Must-win game for them to make sure they book their ticket into the next stage. Well, Denmark will have a tough encounter against the French. They were able to turn the bench earlier on against Macedonia and still win by 13. Roberts has now switched into the centre. Gulden on the right, passing to the line, but that came off the foot. Accidental, say the referees. It's just a free throw. Oh, beautifully done by Sand. Took the ball and scores before she lands. Sublime. Very closed angle. That was beautiful by the 19-year-old. Complete newcomer to the team. Arrived here with just 2 internationals under her belt. Oh, and a mistake by the keeper, Olsen. So Lina Jönsson scoring, and Sweden now call a team timeout. It is so finely poised here in Nice in a game which will see this result, I'm quite sure of it, carried through to the next round. And Klingvall, a little like Per Johansson, his predecessor, very calm, very direct about what he wants, even under pressure. It was a tough job for Klingvall to take over from the popular Per Johansson, but Johansson felt he couldn't stay on after the failures of the Olympics, even though Sweden had really surprised everyone by taking silver at the European Championships 2 years ago, losing to Norway in the final. But a 9th place at the World Championships, followed by a group stage exit at the Olympic Games, saw Johansson walk. And Jan Pytlik as well, very, very calm. But they've thrown away chances, Denmark, in many respects. They've got into good positions and just haven't put their chances away. They could have really hammered it home earlier on. And instead now they've found the Swedes latching onto them and really putting them under pressure. So Alm has now moved into the left-back position. Penalty, it has to be. Defending inside the area, and a 2-minute suspension as well. Bonde Pedersen looks bemused. It's her second 2-minute suspension of the game. She's going to have to watch herself. Mind you, we're that close to the end, not that it matters particularly. She's inside the area, holds her, lets go, holds her again. And so a chance for Alm once more. Well, not a lot of power on the shot. It was a cool one. And goal number 9, and they're level again. It's 25 all in the all-Scandinavian encounter. And we're into the last 5 minutes. Denmark, though, short-handed, and an unforced error off the feet. And this is what I mean about those easy giveaways for Denmark. It's almost as if the exertions of the earlier deep defence have actually backfired on the Danes and left them tired. Alm now moves into the right-back position. Torstensson, after being off court for a long spell, is now brought back on for these crucial minutes, the money time. Here she comes into Sand. There's no space, though, for Sand, even with her acrobatics. Passive plays being warned. They've got to get a shot in quickly. Free throw. And the arm's been up a while now on the referee. It may have to be a bit quicker than they think. Looking to the line, yes! And they're in front. Sweden have overtaken them, and Klingvall tries to look calm, but I'm sure inside it's a seething cauldron. Well, can you believe it? 19-23, the scoreline at one point. And it's been a 7-2 exchange in Sweden's favour. What a turnaround. Here's the free throw again. Nørgaard taking a little bit of a blow to the head. Denmark back to full strength in about 12 seconds. No way through. And it's going to be another free throw. Well, Torstensson, I think, has... well, it's Jakobsen who's gone off for Sweden. So now they're going to be short-handed, and Denmark are now back to full strength again. Is this going to be a chance for Denmark to get back on terms? Sweden will be back to full strength with only 1 minute remaining. Surely off the foot of the player, and Denmark again fumble the ball at a critical stage. A power play, and they've allowed the Swedes to get possession. They'll try and run the clock down as much as they can. Sweden lead by one. Denmark opt for a 5-0-1 defense. They've gone out to Gulden to individually mark her. Gulden goes in on the line instead. Or at least she does for 2 seconds and runs back out again. Alm! It's gone in. Short-handed. Sweden have scored, and Alm, her 10th goal. And the little band of Swedish supporters delighted. A 2-goal lead. Denmark with the extra player. Mustn't rush it though. There's time, looking for the line. That's going to be a penalty. Hard work on the line, and Johanna Alm, for all she could, just couldn't hold Thorsgaard. And the line play got away from her. And so they need a cool head now as we enter the last 2 minutes. Denmark, this penalty to get them back to within one. Olsen stays focused. New keeper in the Swedish team against Nørgaard. Nørgaard scores, and the pressure is there again. Two from the penalty line. They move straight back up again on Gulden. 25 seconds before Sweden are back to full strength again. 1.5 minutes remaining in the game. Sweden still lead by one after having been 4 behind. Taking their time. Passive play will come up soon, surely. Roberts, they're playing all the way outside. The arm does go up now, and Sweden need to find some shots soon. The ball nearly stolen. Cuts back inside. Shot goes wide, but she's got a free throw. And the clock is stopped with just over 1 minute remaining. But Sweden will keep possession for that foul on Gulden. She gets past the first defender. But she's caught by Bonde Pedersen. Klingvall. Is he going to start his reign as Swedish coach in a major competition with a win, I wonder, against arch rivals Denmark? And at 4 up, Denmark were looking relatively settled, but then a 4-goal exchange without reply for Sweden saw them level it, and since then they've just struggled. It's been now an 8-3 exchange in favour of Sweden since that 4-goal lead. And again the ball is fumbled. Well, Lina Jönsson has had an absolute horror second half. She's fumbled the ball 3 times at critical stages, but still has been left on. They go for a full court press. They've got nothing else to do, Denmark. Back to full strength again. 30 seconds to go. Team timeout for Sweden. Well, is this going to be a famous victory for the Swedes, gaining revenge for defeat at the London Olympics on the opening day of that competition as well? And Denmark have completely run out of options. And poor old Lina Jönsson, 179 goals in 76 appearances for her country, the right back, and she's made a series of unforced errors. And I don't know why earlier on Pytlik didn't put Louise Burgård back on in that position. She's a good driving player and will find the spaces if they're there. Well, the Swedes, you've got to credit it, though. They settled down. They didn't get flustered by the Danes. Pytlik stays calm. And you can see the player there with the top on. They're preparing to take the goalkeeper out and put on an extra court player if they get possession. Roberts, they'll try and run the clock down. Who can she pass to? Sand manages to get the ball. Passive play. The ball's loose. Still Sweden have it. That's a lucky break for them because they can run the clock down even more. Free throw. Clock isn't stopped for that. They can run on again. Surely they've done enough now. 5 seconds. The ball's deliberately lobbed wide. They won't get it back in court quickly enough. And that's it. And Sweden, who were 19-23 down, have scored an 8-3 exchange in the last 14 minutes to take the game from the Danes and open up their Euro 2012 campaign with a 27-26 victory. And Denmark, for all their hard work, walk away empty-handed. Revenge for the Swedes after the Olympics. And the few Swedish spectators who early on must have feared the worst, absolutely delighted. Well, a cracking game, but too many unforced errors in the end, I'm afraid, for the Danes. The teams line up on the halfway mark now. Well, MVP for Sweden, that's not a difficult one, is it? For the Danes, well, that's a bit not so obvious. There is confirmation then. Sweden 27. Denmark's 26, and no surprise, Johanna Alm. 10 goals in the game and a sterling performance to lead her team to victory. She gets the MVP award for this opening Euro 2012 games. All smiles. There will be an MVP award for the Danes as well, but I suspect the smiles may not be quite as big because these two teams likely to progress to the next round. This result will follow them, and it puts Denmark on the back foot. Well, Stina Jørgensen, and that's fair dues. 6 goals, and rather less happy-looking left back, I'm afraid, steps up to take her award. So that's it then, 27-26 to Sweden, 48% success rate with their shooting Sweden, 53 to Denmark, and yet still the Swedes took it. 3 fast breaks, but they were wasteful, both teams throwing away 3 fast breaks. 1 missed penalty for Sweden out of 7, while Denmark scored both of them, but turnovers, look at that, at the pace of this game, 19 for Denmark, 16 for Sweden. This is how the scoring looked, not a lot from the back, it's down the middle and on the wings. And then the penalties for Sweden. Only 1 shot from 4 for left and right back, while for Denmark, well, it was down the middle as well and on the right back position with a couple of fast breaks and a couple of penalties. That was it for the Danes, but I'm afraid there's this picture will show, you can see those long gaps when the Danes just went without scoring after having built up well in the first 10 minutes and then lost it after that, I'm afraid. And the 8-3 exchange at the end absolutely killed them off. Top scorer then, Johanna Alm with 10 goals. Stina Jørgensen, the best of the Danes, with 6 goals for them, but I'm afraid scant consolation for them as they walk away with 0 points in Group B at the end of day 1 here in Niš in southern Serbia. And it leaves the table looking like this. France top with 2 points and a plus 13 goal difference. Sweden just behind them, and then Denmark and Macedonia. That's it from us here today. Thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. And until next time, from me, Paul Bray, goodbye.